There's an old problem in the study of the mind. It's that you can't use thought to get a clean look at thought itself. Because the thing doing the looking is the thing you're trying to look at. You've heard that and probably experienced that already, extensively even. Just on your own, trying to see through your own seeking. You're stuck inside that loop. The mind investigating the mind with the mind as a tool for it. It's a self-referential vortex. It's going nowhere. It's two people on a call. No group, no teacher, no audience. Just you and one other person who's been exactly where you are right now. Something about this setup makes this thing finally feel real after years of staying abstract. If you've been seeking for a long time, going through the books, the videos, the retreats and practices, the forums, the comment sections at 2 in the morning, with all the people you tracked down because they seemed close to the truth, to its source. Maybe along the way you did quite a bit of psychedelics. And after all of that, there's still the feeling that nothing has actually moved. That's exactly what it was like for me. Until I stumbled into the one-on-one format through my meetings with Emerson Non-Duality, whom I, by the way, recommend wholeheartedly. Do yourself a favor and look him up. It was beyond doubt those meetings that jump-started an intuitive connection to a clarity that was already here, but sitting buried underneath all the seeking and its noise. And then after a while, I started holding my own sessions. And it's been almost 2 years, I think. So my experience comes from the inside of that process and from both sides of it. And I'd like to explain why I think those meetings work in the first place. And the last reason I'll mention is the one that is the most confusing in practice. So the first reason is actually really simple. There's an old problem in the study of the mind. It's that you can't use thought to get a clean look at thought itself. Because the thing doing the looking is the thing you're trying to look at. You've heard that and probably experienced that already, extensively even. Just on your own, trying to see through your own seeking. You're stuck inside that loop. The mind investigating the mind with the mind as a tool for it. It's a self-referential vortex. It's going nowhere. And the second person breaks it. When it's the two of us, your nervous system has another nervous system to bump against. There's an external stimulus now. It's one system speaking to another instead of you spinning alone inside of your own head. The thing you could never get leverage on from the inside gets met from the outside. And the closed loop has a way out of itself. And finally, it's a conversation because you've been alone with this for so long. In the echo chamber of your own head. You haven't talked about it with your partner, your friends, the people at work, maybe hesitating to admit that the thing you're actually preoccupied with in life is the ultimate nature of reality. And now you're having a plain conversation about it, out loud, with someone who isn't claiming to know more than you, who isn't grading your progress, who's been through the same hell of seeking and came out the other way. And whatever happens stays between the two of us. Nothing's recorded, nothing's saved, no one's watching it later. My only interest is exposing you to that baseline feeling underneath all of this plain feel of being here that was here before any of the searching started. So we share one intention, which is to strip away all what you and I have layered on top of this moment, and to find what's already here underneath before either of us steps in with our agendas and our stories about past or future. It feels almost primal, two people canceling each other out. And the second reason is that although I may have my own style in a session, my own questions, the imagery I use, and unique ways in, but our dynamic doesn't come from that. It doesn't depend on who either of us is when we walk into that meeting. I use some assortment of interventions and questions, but I'm never in my head about which one is the correct response to your apparent stuckness. I don't think about it. It isn't conscious. It comes straight out of my own experience intuitively. And a slightly romanticized way to explain this is that the facilitator is coming from clarity. As we meet, I'm in that. I'm talking from what I'm experiencing right now and not reaching back into a memory of a time when I was clear or some established doctrine about it. So we're not adding anything into the moment. Not yours and not mine. The natural clarity itself is the medium the meeting happens in. And coming in surrounded by that helps me see what's actually going on and clear up the confusion as it arises. And there's a notion of transmission in spirituality, that you somehow fall in tune with the teacher through pure resonance. So this isn't that, okay? Unless tickling someone counts as a transmission of giggles. The person doesn't matter. And I'm not even a perfect channel for it. Sometimes when you're stuck, I feel the stuckness too, viscerally. And some meetings don't bring relief because it's never a clean 100%. I'm not some unwavering beacon. But the exposure to that clarity is the part that does work. And it works by simply being repeated. And over a few of those meetings, something else starts to build between us. A relationship, which is the third reason these meetings bring about a change. Look, there is no real difference between us. Who's facilitating and who's the guest, at some point completely dissolves for both of us. We're both tapping into a completely natural capacity, and one that so far hasn't turned out to be missing in anyone I've met. And the only sense in which I still call myself a guide is like a guide on a hiking trail, right? I didn't make the mountain. I don't own the trail or the steps. We just walk it together. There's no hierarchy in it. The person across from you has no interest in building authority. You don't need to cherish me. You don't even need to be grateful. By the end of the day, I don't care what you think of me. And I mean that in the kindest way possible. I just don't want you thinking about me. And I don't want you thinking about any other person in this space. I want you done with all of it. My part is to walk beside you for a while because I've been up this way before. And that leveling, where you and I are on the same ground, this is crucial. The trust we build helps get rid of any performance. You're able to show up and be seen accurately. And this unbelievable honesty does real work. And lastly, all of this only ever begins to happen live between us, while we're in it. Because the session lives entirely in the present. And that confuses people more than anything else. Because almost every spiritual teaching is a plan for later. What to do when the difficult thought comes, how to respond when a feeling arises, which technique to apply when you catch yourself looping again, and what stage you're at, what the next stage is. Thinking in terms of path and progress is intuitive and logical, but what I'm pointing at is happening already, right now. Notice whatever's running in you as you listen to this. The slight leaning forward into the next. The part of you checking whether this is going to be the thing that finally works. And the faint background pressure that something is still missing. That's here right now while I'm saying this. There's no later version of it. So as we meet in the immediacy of this moment, your instinct to inoculate yourself with the clarity that you're experiencing feels like the obvious thing that should help, but it doesn't. It only triggers more seeking, more postponing. It's the repetition of real-time exposure. That's the crucial reason why this approach works. And this exposure opens up the flexibility for experience to become direct and immediate. So whatever surfaces in the session, we don't turn it into a takeaway. There's nothing to remember. No homework, no technique to install, no insight to carry home and apply tomorrow. Nothing we touch is meant to outlast the conversation itself. The hope that you leave with something to keep is the same hope that started the seeking. It wants at least a souvenir or something, but the souvenir is what pulls you back into the search again. So it has to be live, which is what a session is every time. Catching whatever's running while it's running. It's seeking caught in the act of seeking. So let's do it now. Notice the thought going through your mind right now. Notice it, but leave it be. And after a while, it disappears. You can watch that happen. It disintegrates into nothing. And then another thought arrives in its place right away. Maybe the thought that this is about something. That something's supposed to be happening. What's here without that thought? What replaces it? Maybe something more subtle. Like trying to hold the empty space open. Or pure focus. Or the opposite, a doubt flashing its red lights. Whatever thought is center stage for you right now, you can let go of it. What's here without replacing the last thought?